Aryna Sabalenka is used to the pressure. She's won the biggest titles, stared down the toughest rivals, and lived through the loudest crowds tennis can throw at you. But walking into the Porsche Arena in Stuttgart changed everything. Suddenly, she was staring at 55,000 Filipino fans, turning the stadium into a massive wall of red, white, and blue. It stopped her cold. Chants of Laban Alex rattled the German streets while flags flew in every single corner of the stands. The four-time major champ just stood there, stunned. "I've honestly never seen anything like this," Sabalenka admitted, clearly blindsided by the energy. Word is she realized the Eala effect was real. Something wild was happening inside that Stuttgart arena, and everyone felt it. Roughly 55,000 Filipino fans had swarmed the city. They didn't just come to watch, they came to turn the tournament into a massive national holiday. They poured in from Frankfurt, Munich, and every corner of Europe. If there was a direct flight, they were on it. They bought out every hotel room and packed the local restaurants. A quiet German city was suddenly drowning in Philippine flags. But the moment Sabalenka actually stepped inside the arena, that's when the reality of the situation really hit home for her. She's the world #1 with 4 slams. She's spent 2 years at the top and expects the cameras to follow her every move. People usually beg for her autograph. The stadium usually vibrates when she walks out. Not this time. In Stuttgart, the roar was for someone else. Blue and red flags were everywhere. The Laban Alex chants were so loud they practically shook the entire building. The Porsche Arena was overflowing with people screaming at the top of their lungs. But they weren't cheering for the world #1. They were there for Alex Eala. She's 20 years old, ranked 45th, and hasn't even won a Grand Slam trophy yet. Sabalenka lingered by the entrance, just watching the scene. Her face went from curious to shocked, and then to something much more complicated. "I have never seen anything quite like this," she told her team. She looked genuinely rattled by the atmosphere. "That kind of support is just unreal. It's totally different from anything I've ever felt on the tour. The Eala effect is a real monster, stadiums selling out, servers crashing, fans going ballistic. We saw it months ago at the Australian Open. Eala's presser got 196,000 views, 6 times more than Alcaraz, and 20 times more than Sabalenka. Dubai ticket sales spiked 48% just because of her. In Miami, her jerseys made up 57% of all merchandise sales. Think about that for a second. She outsold the entire field combined. But seeing that energy live in Stuttgart, that was on a whole different level. This wasn't even a final. It was just a first-round match, but the fans turned it into a massive, high-stakes party. When you get players from the Philippines, it feels like a Davis Cup atmosphere. One veteran ref noted earlier this year, "It's about country, not just the player." In Stuttgart, that was obvious. Those fans traveling across Europe weren't just showing up for the tennis. As Sabalenka watched, the math started to hurt. 55,000 Filipinos had basically invaded the city for this event. That's 10 times what the arena even holds. Hotels within 50 kilometers were totally full, and local spots started serving adobo and lumpia. Local officials say this crowd will pump over 10 million euros into the city. It's an economic takeover by the fans. But the stats comparing Eala's popularity to her own, that's what really left Sabalenka quiet. Back in January, Eala's Australian Open press conference hit 196,000 views on YouTube. Sabalenka, the actual champ and world #1, only got 9,000. It wasn't even close. This kid had 20 times the audience of the best player on the planet. Let that sink in. Ticket sales in Dubai shot up 48% year over year. That's all thanks to Eala being in the bracket. Tournament director Salah Talek said she brought in a whole new crowd. Every single one of her matches was a total sellout. People were begging for seats, but they were long gone. They've literally never seen anything like this before. In Miami, her jersey sales hit 57%. Again, she outsold every other pro in the tournament combined. The moment tickets went live, the system just gave up and crashed. Filipino fans were just too much for the servers to handle. If Eala was playing, tickets vanished in hours. Now, even the retired legends are starting to talk. On the Nothing Major podcast, Sam Querrey asked the question nobody dared to ask a year ago. Is she the biggest star in women's tennis right now? Bigger than Sabalenka? Bigger than Coco? Steve Johnson didn't hesitate. Yes, man. It's total madness. He called the global fan support insane. John Isner pointed out that everyone basically ignored the massive Filipino market until now. After seeing the chaos in Stuttgart, Sabalenka finally sat down to talk. The media didn't hold back. They asked her about the Eala effect. They asked how it felt to be the opening act for a number 45 ranked player. Sabalenka played it cool, but it clearly stung. The support is wild, but it feels different. I've never seen a crowd act like this. She took a second to find the right words. Look, I've been #1 for 2 years. I've got 4 Grand Slams and I've taken down the legends of this game. But then I look up at the stands and everyone is waving flags for her. They're chanting her name. Honestly, it's frustrating. Total honesty. Sabalenka is a warrior. Powerful, fierce, and rarely ever lets anyone see her sweat. But that massive gap between her trophies and Alex Eala's insane popularity, it clearly got under her skin. I'm not saying I deserve more, she pointed out. It's different. The way those fans connect with her, that's something special. It's a spark she doesn't have, and honestly, she's not sure how to get it. Then there was that Miami drama. Sabalenka went head-to-head with Eala over practice times during the rain, and the footage went viral instantly. Pure frustration, she said later. Nothing personal. I respect Alex and what she's doing for tennis. But at this level, emotions boil over. The interview clip blew up in 2 hours flat. Fans dissected every single word. Was it beef? Was it respect? Everyone had a theory. But look past the noise and you'll find a simple truth. What Sabalenka witnessed in Stuttgart wasn't just a match. It was a full-blown cultural shift. The Eala effect. We're talking packed houses, crashed ticket sites, and a level of devotion we haven't seen in years. It's been building, but seeing it live? That's a different beast. For Sabalenka, who has spent years grinding to build her brand, the contrast was a total gut punch. She does the Instagram dances. She shares the raw, behind-the-scenes life. She's tried everything to humanize herself to over 5 million followers. But the Eala effect? You can't manufacture that. You can't buy it, and you definitely can't plan it out in a boardroom. It's organic, it's real, and it's deeply rooted in the Filipino soul. When she's on court, it feels like a Davis Cup final. One veteran ref put it perfectly. They aren't just cheering for a player, they're cheering for their country. That's the secret. It's not about ranking points or Grand Slam titles. It's about being seen. It's a global diaspora finally finding its voice through sport. It's millions of people seeing themselves reflected on the world's biggest stage. Sabalenka, for all her wins, just can't replicate that. She's a champion, sure, but she isn't a movement. She has fans, but she doesn't have a whole nation behind her. And that's exactly why she can't fill a stadium on her own. I've been world #1 for 2 years, she says. I have 4 Grand Slams, but Stuttgart was more than just a moment. It was a warning shot. It was a preview of exactly what Alex Eala is going to face at every single tournament for the rest of her career. This isn't going away. The Filipino community isn't going to stop showing up for their hero, and Sabalenka, like everyone else at the top, has to adapt to this new world. When Alex is on court, the crowd belongs to her. The challenge for Sabalenka? Accepting that a ranking system can't measure the soul of a player like Eala. The game is evolving. Fans are changing. If she wants to stay at the top, she's got to move with the times. For Alex, the pressure is on to turn all that hype into hardware. The clay season is wide open. Madrid, Rome, and then the big one, Roland Garros. But that Czech curse is still looming. Her record against Czech players? A brutal 0-13. Still, she has something no ranking can touch, the love of a nation that will follow her to the ends of the earth. That scene in Stuttgart? People will remember it as the turning point. It was the moment the old guard had to face the future. The ranking system, all about consistency and results, is failing to capture the magic of players who actually move the needle. As Sabalenka heads into the clay season, she's feeling the sting of being overlooked. But she knows the truth. She's still number one, still a four-time Grand Slam winner, still the most dangerous woman in the game. But that photo from Stuttgart? That's not going anywhere. It's a permanent reminder that in this era, connection is just as important as the score. The players who get that, they're the ones who win the future. Aryna Sabalenka walked into that arena in Stuttgart expecting just another tournament. Instead, 55,000 Filipino fans turned the stadium into a massive celebration of national pride. The world number one with 2 years at the top and 4 Grand Slams was left completely stunned. "Never seen anything like this," she reportedly said. "The support for her is unreal. I've never experienced anything like it. The Ella effect, the sellouts, the hype, it's finally rattled the queen of the rankings." Sabalenka admitted she was frustrated. She sees that connection and knows she's missing it. Now, the clay season begins. Madrid, Rome, Roland Garros. Sabalenka is defending her title in Madrid, but Alex? She's the crowd favorite everywhere she goes. The Ella effect is the real deal. It's powerful, and it has the top players watching their backs. So, what's your take on Sabalenka's reaction? Is the power shifting in women's tennis? Let us know in the comments. Subscribe to Rally Radar for daily WTA news and the stories behind the score. Because here, every day is match day.